Oftentimes when it comes to streaming, you get to see the highlight reels and all the pros of what it means to be a streamer. The subs, the donations, a bunch of people following you. But in this video, I want to go over 10 things every streamer faces to help you ask yourself the question, if I want to be a streamer, can I deal with these? Hey, what is up, everyone? My name is Susie. If we're meeting for the first time, a pleasure to meet you. If you're coming back to the channel, high five yourself for rejoining. Good to have you back. You're joining us right in the middle of a new series that I started entitled How to Win as a Streamer, where I'm using almost 7 years of live streaming experience to be able to help share some tips and tricks and some wisdom and experience to hopefully help you win in your streaming career. So I want to encourage you, if you guys are excited for this series, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, maybe give it 2. Let me know in the comments below what videos you want to see next. And of course, lastly, subscribe to the channel. But it's super important. Join me on my live stream where I'd love to answer these questions for you, hang out with you, get to know you, and of course, link in the description below. Friends, today we're continuing in a part 2 in a multi-part series, a part to a part, something like that. Today is a part 2 of the video we did last week, really helping you answer the question, do I have what it takes to be a streamer? In last week's video, if you haven't already, go back and watch that. We'll put a link in the description. We talked about when answering that question, am I able to add a positive? But in this video, I want to come at it from the opposite angle and ask myself, am I able to deal with a negative? The reality is people think that streaming is just super glamorous, tons of fun, and I love it so much. Streaming is my favorite thing in the world. I've obviously chosen to do it professionally as a career, but you have to know that it's not all positives. There are cons, and you have to be aware of what those are. And so in this video, as you're trying to decide, do I want to be able to become a full-time streamer? I want to go over 10 things that every streamer faces so that you can ask yourself, can I deal with these things? So that ultimately you can decide, and only you can do this, do the pros outweigh the cons? And the reality is, if you feel like the pros don't outweigh the cons, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you weak. It just means that it's not worth it to you. And if you want to be a streamer, you have to be able to realize, are these things worth it to me? And it's okay if they're not. Let's dive right in. Reason number 1 that you need to ask yourself, can I deal with these things are, can I deal with the pressure to perform? The reality is you need to understand that as a streamer, your viewers are consumers. It doesn't make them bad people, but they are there to consume a product that you are providing for them. That is the reason they watch your stream. Sure, they might like you, they might think you're funny, and maybe in a small way they feel like they're developing a personal connection to you. But the reality is they're watching your stream because you are providing a service for them. They are consuming something for you. And actually in this series, I'm actually gonna make an entire video based off this point right here and really talking about why streaming is giving and not receiving. Keep your eyes out for that one. But you have to understand, like, I need to be able to perform, and can I deal with that pressure? What that means is, like, gone are the days where you get to play video games in private where you had an absolute like potato moment and like through the game. You used to get to do that in private, but now you're doing that in front of a lot of people, and you're gonna ask yourself, can I deal with that pressure? Is it gonna affect my gameplay? Am I gonna perform worse? Am I gonna really beat myself up when I lost the game, when I choked hard and lost the game in front of everybody? And now, sure, some of the chat is laughing with me, but some people are laughing at me and will leave the stream because they're like, wow, this guy really sucks at the game. Can you deal with the pressure of going in a live stream every day, deciding today I need to bring my best? I want to do my best to be in my A game. Now, don't misunderstand me. All of us are human. I have days where maybe I'm operating at 80% because of whatever is going on in life. And sometimes those things just happen, but I should never just accept today I'm gonna give it 40%. And you know what? My viewers are just gonna have to deal with it. No, today I'm always giving my best. Always giving my best. But can you deal with the pressure that sometimes your best isn't good enough for certain viewers? Can you deal with that pressure? It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just a real pressure that you got to deal with. Can you deal with the pressure that I should always be looking to give new and innovative content? I got to keep my content new and fresh. That takes a lot of brain power and pressure of like, oh, he's operating at a high level, but how long can he stay here before he starts dropping and getting old and old and old? And the reality is, if you just keep on doing the same old, your content is going to get old. Can you keep and deal with the pressure of always having to be fresh and be in your A game? It's a reality you're gonna have to face. Number 2, can you deal with the pressure of being under a microscope? This is huge. When you sign up to be in the world of live streaming, you sign up that a lot of your life is done in public on the internet. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to have a private life. It's super important. You have to have a private life. But if you really want to thrive as a live streamer, that means you're live streaming a certain amount of hours a day. If you really want to do it right, you're diversifying your portfolio and doing things like I'm doing now, recording content on YouTube, and also being active on social media, which means that a lot of my life is out in front of people. And what that does is that gives you a lot of opportunity to be under a microscope and for people to analyze everything you say. Because as a live streamer, especially when you're live streaming and not creating YouTube content, people are asking you questions and you're just off the cuff, in the moment, reacting. So the real you is coming out in front of people, and people are asking you not just about the game, but maybe your opinion. And so your opinions are coming out. Your philosophies are coming out. Your beliefs are coming out. And there's going to be people who will literally take those things under a microscope and potentially take you completely out of context. There might be a clip that's put out of you on the internet that people don't even follow you, who don't know you, who don't understand you, and don't know where you're coming from, will hear that 10-second clip and then assume a lot of things about you because they heard something out of context. Can you deal with that? It's okay if you can't, but you got to be honest. If I'm gonna be a live streamer, can I deal with this? Can I deal with the fact that I'm under a microscope in my appearance, in the way that I look? I know it's really awful to think about, but the internet is not always the nicest, okay? Some of y'all aware of that. Some of you have been those people. And the reality is that sometimes people will judge you by your appearance. Like, I'm just gonna be real honest for me. I've been streaming almost 7 years now during the recording of this video. I'm gonna be turning 30 in a few months. Started when I was 23 years old. And I'll be honest, I had a better hairline back then, people. And the reality is, like, as much as I want to try to avoid it and not talk about it, like, I'm literally slowly going bald before the internet. And I have to just be able to embrace that. I gotta just deal with it, that as I'm getting older, my body's changing, I am changing, my hairline is getting further back. We'll put a picture of what my hairline used to look like when I first started streaming. And the reality is, like, this is happening to me in real life in front of other people day by day, and people make jokes. Some people make not jokes. They make serious comments. And I gotta ask myself, like, do I have the thick skin to be able to deal with this? It's okay if you don't want to deal with it. Like, I'd really rather have a job where people don't make fun of the way I look, and that's okay. But if you want to be a streamer, you gotta ask yourself, can I deal with being under a microscope in terms of what I say and how I look? Can I deal with my mistakes being on display? Number 3, so important. When you become a live streamer and an online internet influencer, a lot of times you lose the privilege of being able to fail in private. It's just a reality. I touched on this on my last point. You might say some things, you might react, you might rage, you might lose your temper, you might lose control of your emotions. You might say something that you regret and be like, man, if this was a YouTube video, I definitely would have edited that out. But in live streaming, there is no editing. It's real. And I don't even mean just the things you do on stream, but the reality is, if you really want to be an influencer, integrity is so vital. And you need to be the same off camera as you are on camera. And so your personal life choices can affect your career. I want to tell you something. I am not condoning anything that I'm about to say. I believe we should be people of integrity, always to the best of our ability. But if you're an architect, you can cheat on your wife and not lose your job. You can abandon your children and not lose your paycheck. You pull some of those moral failures in the live stream world, you've heard it, cancel culture is coming for you. It's a real reality. All of us are humans and we all fail and make mistakes, and all of us deserve some grace to try again and do better. But the reality is, the internet's not gonna be so gracious with you. And you have to deal with that pressure of, man, in a lot of ways, I've lost the privilege to fail in private. In a lot of ways, I'm failing in public. Can I deal with that? Does my integrity even allow me, like, do I even have enough integrity to be able to, like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm making some solid life choices that the internet's not going to be mad at me. Now, again, the internet doesn't need to know everything you do, but there's a lot that they will know that you do. And can you deal with the fact that I don't really get to fail in private anymore? I'm failing in front of everybody. And this is very, very difficult. And you got to ask yourself, can I deal with it? Can I deal with it? Fourth thing, you can ask yourself, Can I deal with inconsistent pay? You want to be a full-time streamer? Say bye-bye to the Friday paychecks, baby. Say bye-bye to the direct deposit, because here's the deal. You're not making X amount of dollars every single week. It's always changing. And some of it changes depending on like what game you play, what YouTube video you put out. The reality is some months are really great, but some months are really bad. And you gotta be able to deal with and be financially responsible enough to navigate and save and budget, because you're not always gonna make the same amount of money. You're just not. It just literally every month I make a different amount of money, and some months are worse than others. And I have to be responsible on the really good months, where I'm like, oh, I made so much more money this month, let me just go buy this. No. I prepared and I made so much money this month, but next month might not be so hot. And I gotta put that money away, because next month I might lose 50% of my income, and I gotta be able to get that money from somewhere if I'm not gonna get it from my stream. So I gotta get it from my savings account. And so you gotta budget, you gotta prioritize, you gotta discipline yourself, because you're not getting X amount of dollars every Friday at 2 p.m. like you may have been used to. And so you gotta ask yourself, can I deal with inconsistent pay? It's not good or bad, it's just different. You gotta ask yourself, can I deal with it? Also talking about money, if you wanna be a streamer, can I deal with the process of taxes? Okay, gone are the days of your W-4s. Welcome to the world of 1099s, ladies and gentlemen. You essentially now are not gonna be getting money taken out of your pay cut. PayPal doesn't do that. Twitch doesn't do that. All those, Patreon doesn't do that if you use that. Essentially, you're getting almost 100% of the money you make. Those services, they take their cut. And then you're responsible. You need the financial discipline to save a ton of money, because the money that you're making is not the money that you get to keep. And then when it comes tax time, whoa, you about to send the government a whole lot of money. And so gone are the days of tax returns, and now are the days where, oh my goodness, I need to send the government thousands of dollars. And you have to be ready for that. That means throughout the year, you got to be saving. You got to keep a ton of more money in your bank account than you're probably used to, because it's all going to go, not all, but a lot of it's going to go to taxes. You're going to have to get in the habit of actually what you're supposed to do. Most tax professionals would recommend this. I'm not a tax pro. You talk to your own tax pro. But what my tax pros recommended, and I've heard from a lot of people, is that really you should be paying your taxes quarterly. So you hate doing taxes once a year, welcome to doing taxes 4 times a year. Do you want to deal with that? It's okay if you don't, but if you want to be a full-time streamer, you're gonna have to ask yourself that question. Next thing that you're gonna have to ask is, can I deal with vacations helping me mentally, but hurting me professionally? Vacations are important. Everybody needs rest. Everybody needs to reset. Sometimes y'all just need to throw your phone across the room. Don't actually do that. But you need to get your phone away from you and just escape. But gone are the days of paid vacations. Unless you have an exclusive contract with Twitch or YouTube or other platforms where they're paying you to stream whether you're there or not, gone are the days of paid vacations. Maybe some of you are already used to not having paid vacations, and so that's not different. But the reality is, not only is it when you go on vacation, not only do you not get paid for that week, but then you end up making less money the next week. And here's why. Because when you go on vacation, a lot of the viewers that used to watch you, they found someone new to watch while you were gone. So their sub came off of you and went to them. Those YouTube views that you were getting when you were on vacation, not only did you not get views, but it hurt your algorithm, and your next videos are going to perform less while you're on vacation. It sounds savage, but remember, your viewers, in a lot of ways, they are first a consumer. Gonna make a new video talking about that. Keep your eye out for it. But the reality is, and I've literally had people say this to me, Susie, I sub to you because of the content you provide, but I'm not paying you to not make content. I'm unsubscribing. It's savage. I know. And you might think that's so rude and I hate that, but it's the internet. Do you want to deal with it? Doesn't make you good, doesn't make you bad. You just need to ask yourself, can I deal with it, or would I rather do something different? Can you deal with the fact that if I play a different game, the people who loved me will leave me? You mean you're gonna abandon me because I'm not playing the game you like? They're a consumer. You change your game, some people will leave you. It's just the reality. Even if you spent months encouraging them, months making them laugh, months yada yada yada, whatever it might be, you play a different game, they'll stop watching you. Can you deal with it? That's really it. Can you deal with it? It's okay if you can't, but you gotta ask yourself, if I wanna chase the dream, some of the dream, when you hear these facts, are becoming more of a nightmare. You gotta ask yourself, do I wanna deal with it? Or would I rather maybe do a different line of work that has different negatives, because every job has cons. Every job has cons, but you get to pick which cons I want to deal with. Do I want to deal with people literally abandoning me and never coming back because I just decided to play a different game today? Last few things wrapping up this video. Can I deal with people not liking me? This is a big one. The reality is, when people tune into your stream, you have about 10 seconds to convince them why they shouldn't leave. 10 seconds to convince them why they shouldn't leave. You do it, I do it, and ain't nothing personal, but we're on, Twitch or YouTube, whatever it might be, and we're scrolling through. Click. You have 10 seconds before I leave. Give me reasons why I shouldn't. Nah, I'm out. Scroll, next, swipe left, whatever it might be. They are on to the next person. And the reality is that if you weren't AFK and it wasn't a chair stream, which is most of the time not the case, if they decided to leave the stream while you were present, you have to ask yourself, can I deal with the truth that they just left because they didn't like me? They didn't think I was funny. They thought I was boring. They watched me. Maybe I am really good at this game, but they watched me during one bad moment, because we all have them. And now they just assume that I suck at this game hardcore. And they're leaving and probably never coming back. Can I deal with the fact that, like we talked in earlier, that they didn't like my appearance, so they left. They didn't like my voice, so I left. They thought my sense of humor that I think is funny was cringy, and they left. Can you deal with it? Can you deal with it? Can you deal with the fact that you'll go into your analytics after your stream is over and you'll see that hundreds of people watched you in that day? For me, I get about an average of 1,000 individual people, and a lot of those people are brand new first-time guests who did not hit the follow button because they did not like me. Can I deal with it? It's okay if you can't, but you're gonna have to deal with it if you want to be a full-time streamer. That a lot of people aren't gonna like you, but be encouraged and remember there are a lot of people who do like you, and focus on that, but you can't ignore the fact that some people don't. Can I deal with it? Last two reasons. Can I deal with the grind? This one's huge. This one's talked about a lot, so I didn't want to talk about it in the beginning, but can you deal with the grind? The reality is, when you start a stream, it's like starting a business. And at the very beginning, you're gonna put in a lot of time, a lot of learning. You're gonna have to edit your own videos, manage your own social media, do all of your own marketing, do all of your own learning, and for $0. You're gonna be putting in a lot of hours, a lot of learning, a lot of researching, a lot of experimenting, and at first you're not gonna make any money off of it. And you're gonna be doing all of that on top of your full-time job, on top of maybe having a family, on top of real-life responsibilities. And you have to ask yourself, do the pros of streaming outweigh the cons that make that level of grind worth it? You're gonna have to put in the time to make it happen. Now, I'm really grateful that Twitch is moving away from the world of you can only succeed if you stream 100 hours a week, 12 hours a day, because that's what it used to be like. And I'm glad that's changed, but the grind is still necessary. To get anything off the ground, you're gonna have to grind. You're gonna have to work hard, and you're gonna ask yourself, do I wanna build my own business, or do I just wanna go work for a business that's already built and I can just show up, they'll buy me a desk, they'll buy me a computer, and they'll give me a paycheck on Friday? Or do I wanna deal with the struggle of building something from the ground up? Because it's hard, and it takes time, and you're gonna ask yourself, do I wanna deal with that? Do I wanna deal with building something, or do I just wanna be a part of something that is already built? Last reason, kind of trickling off that last one, so can I deal with failure? This is a big one, not just for streamers, but for every living, breathing human. Friends, I want to ask you today, what's your threshold for pain? Can you deal with failure? Because I promise you, the road to success is paved with many, many, many steps of failure. As a streamer, there are going to be streams that you did, YouTube videos that you made, that you thought were going to be a hit, and they were not. I've done it. All of us, every content creator has put out a video or had a live stream or had an idea. They were like, oh, the chat's gonna love this, man. And it just was bad. You're gonna go back a few years later and watch a video that back then you thought was gonna be a hit. And you're like, oh no, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? And you're gonna fail time and time and time and time again in front of lots of people until you finally arrive at success. Success is learned experience through many, many failures. Can you deal with it? Can you deal with working on a video that wasn't so hot that you're just not even gonna put out? I recorded a video a few weeks ago to go on this YouTube channel that I put hours of research, hours of recording into, and at the end I was like, you know what? This video wasn't my best. I'm not putting it on the internet. This video was a failure, and I didn't put it out, and I won't put it out. You literally will never see this video. It was a failure because I fail from time to time. I fail from time to time. All of us do. But if you want to be a live streamer, you can ask yourself, can I deal with the failure? Can I deal with the fact that my sub count is going down and I need to reassess that it's not just that people are, being rude and, oh, well, they don't appreciate me. No, maybe my content right now is bad and maybe I got to step it up. Can I deal with the failure? The reality is the difficult thing about being a live streamer is that your performance can be down, but you don't have a boss to tell you that your performance is down. When you're working a job, hey, I need you to step up your performance. The numbers aren't there. And if we don't get this together, we're going to have to fire you. Oh, okay, there's some motivation. But in live streaming, there's no boss to call you into your office and to be like, hey, you're failing. Let's step it up. And if you can't do that for yourself, you won't make it as a live streamer. You got to ask yourself, can I deal with failure? Can I deal with failure? And here's what I challenge you. Don't allow failure to demotivate you. Allow failure to motivate you to get up better, stronger. You can have what it takes. If you've answered these two questions, can I add a positive? And can I deal with the negative? If you've truly answered these for yourself, there's nothing in the world that can stop you. Streaming is not all pros. There are cons, but I promise you, if you really are honest with yourself and be like, you know what, I do want to deal with these because I really want to live out my purpose. I want to live out my passion and I want to pursue it no matter the cost, no matter the negatives. And even when I fail, I'll get up and I'll try again. I'll surround myself with people who will encourage me to keep on pushing because they've seen in me that I do have what it takes to be a streamer. And friends, I hope you've been encouraged to know that, you know what? There are some pretty dark negatives of streaming, but it's not all bad. There are great moments. Building friendships, building communities, hanging out with people on Discord, being able to make a living, provided with your family, being able to share your uniqueness and your passion with the world. So many good. But if you want to be a streamer, you have to ask yourself, can I deal with the negative? Friends, I hope you'll stick around to continue to watch this YouTube series because I am excited to be able to put out more videos for you. So friends, if you want to check out more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, but also let me know in the comments below, what are the topics you want to see me cover in this, but also which one of these 10 things that streamers face do you think is the most difficult for you? I know for me, I've got so much and I want to talk about it with you in the comments. Let me know below. But lastly, friends, be sure to check out my live stream, link in the description below. Come hang out, come ask me more questions, come relate to some of these things that streamers like myself face, but also come laugh, come have a good time. I want to do my best to help you win in every area of life. Thank you, friends, for spending a few minutes with me. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one.